As I was developing the DC15 for the Festool Kapex KS 120 REB, I knew this one was going to be different. This isn't a review, but it's about the design process and the challenges I faced and the decisions that went into making the system work. The Kapex is more restrictive than most miter saws, which meant I had to carefully balance dust collection improvements. I kept the same DC15 form factor and aesthetic from previous designs. Having a baseline that works already helped a lot. It's easier to adapt than reinvent everything from scratch. And before I get my hands dirty, everything starts on paper. I sketched some ideas in Procreate to dial in some dust collection designs that could coexist in the Kapex sliding function. And the main question was, can this design adapt while maintaining airflow? And the only way to know was to dive in. I considered redirecting the debris through the factory dust chute, but that would require removing the dust apron and creating potential performance issues. And the goal was to have the dust move with the cutting forces and not fight them. With the factory dust apron, debris often bounces off the back wall and lands back on your workbench. Adding a hose keeps airflow consistent and contained, instead of dumping dust into the atmosphere. I also thought about hose brackets for management, but ideally I didn't want to add extra parts unless it was necessary. Once I had a concept, I moved into CAD and iterated through multiple designs. I 3D printed and tested fitment and tolerances until everything felt just right. For this DC15, I opted not to 3D print the throat plate. It was too long and too large to print on my Anycubic Mono X in one piece. So I'd CNC'd it out of high density polyethylene sheet or HDPE. HDPE is durable, it's a lightweight thermoplastic that resists impact and moisture, and it's smooth and low friction, and it's especially easy to machine, and it's really soft to cut. I wanted a single flush part rather than a multiple printed sections. This is a big upgrade over the 3D printed part. For prepping my parts, I only use 400 and 600 grit sandpaper. Anything rougher than that creates deep scratches and it will take forever to smooth them out. For small details and inlays, I spray onto a piece of paper and use a micro pipette tip to wick paint by capillary action. Paint flows naturally to the part, giving control and reducing coats. One could argue airbrushing would have better results, and I would agree with that. But at the moment, time, cleanup, and cost for paints and sealers all add up. I do see myself adding airbrushing to the process in the future. To get that rich black tone, I use Odie's oil. It revives the part's color, and it gives a matte finish, it smells great, and it won't discolor over time. Once that's cured, I inject 3D resin into the holes for threaded inserts using a syringe. This helps control the volume, preventing overflow, and a quick cure locks the inserts in place as the resin bonds to the part. Now that all the parts are painted and prepped, let's install the DC15. Flip the throat plate over. Now slide the front throat collector down into the groove to fully seat. You'll know it's the front throat collector because the profile of the groove lines up with the bottom of the throat collector. I just have to make sure I line up the holes, and then I'll flip it over to install all 4 screws. And don't over tighten. Make sure these are hand tight plus a final 1/8 turn. Now put the front assembly aside. It's time to insert the adjustable shroud into the dust channel. Now take the rear half of the throat collector and slide it into place. It has a little lip that seats into the bottom of the dust channel. Then I can install the screws. Again, don't over tighten. Now grab the front assembly and hold both of them upright. As you can see on the end of the throat plate, there's a short lip, and on the dust channel there's a matching groove. Align and slide them together, then install the remaining screws. Let's install the vacuum hose. Both ends of the hose come pre-greased to slide on easier and hold suction. Twist on one end of the 1-inch hose onto the dust channel. I went with corrugated hose because it's lighter, more flexible, and it balances on its own better than PVC. And for this install, we need to remove the factory dust apron and throat plate. Now carefully lower the DC15 into the throat plate well. I have to carefully line it up with the factory mounting points. And make sure you pull over the hose so the weight is balanced. Then reinstall the factory screws to secure the zero clearance throat plate and dust channel. The DC15 comes with a dust recirculation adapter that installs over the stock vacuum port. The short extension matches the factory vacuum port, so you can still use the Festool D27 hose or a standard 1 1/4 vacuum hose. Carefully align the inner cavity to the outer tooth. In future versions, I would like to have an arrow to call out a fitment orientation. Compared to my first DC15 for the Dewalt DWS713, that saw had everything aligned. Fence depth, blade position, the geometry made dust capture really effective. I've been applying the same metrics across other DC15 designs. The Festool Kapex KS 120 is different. It's packed with features, which is great, but it made integration a little tricky. The Kapex dust extraction attachment limits how tall I can make the DC15, and any taller it would collide with the attachment. I considered going taller, but removing the attachment isn't something most users would do. It's functional, it's safety related, and taking it off could affect the warranty or make reinstalling a little tricky, and I wanted the DC15 to work without forcing any modifications. So there were trade-offs, not because the Kapex had any flaws, but to integrate the DC15 it has to fit a frame it wasn't built for. For the miter saws I've explored to date, small changes like raising the fence, extending the throw plate, adjusting the dust chute, the position of the blade, could make a huge difference in containing dust. This version works around the Kapex as is, and it keeps the installation simple, and it captures more dust where it matters. I know some of you might ask, why doesn't this version fully capture the dust during sliding cuts? And the answer is, I wanted to maximize the performance in a system I already know works. Exploring critical features introduces unknowns that require more time to develop, and it's better to prove this phase works first and bring light to saws that lack and need better dust extraction. For testing, I wanted to try something different, and I'm using foam core to make debris easier to see. With the factory setup, a lot of debris hits the dust apron and bounces and lands back on the bench. Some debris does reach the dust chute. With the DC15, more debris is captured instead of spreading across the bench. I do apologize for not taping the foam core. So next, I did want to show simulating tests closer to a 2x4, and even then you can see good improvement in dust extraction. The sliding function and design features of the Kapex made this DC15 design a bit more challenging, but the result is focused, effective dust collection system that works where it counts without forcing modifications. For version 1, I focused on cross cuts and minor cuts, and no beveled cuts. For version 2, there are big milestones before I can expand. Every added feature brings trade-offs between design, engineering, and real-world use. I do have to apologize in advance. I feel this platform wouldn't be the one I'd start that investigation. Thank you all for making it this far in the video. Thank you for all your support. And if you're interested in the DC15 for the Festool Kapex KS120 REB, head on over to my shop at buythegrain.co or click on the product link in the description to go straight to my shop. I would love to hear your feedback, or if you have questions, put it down in the comments. You can always reach out to me directly at buythegrainshop@gmail.com. I'm off to the next one. Stay busy. See ya.